Hi everybody, my name is Bill Sanders and this is Watch Art Side, the art and science of watch collection. Today I want to try something a little different based on a couple comments made a few years ago, one by Philippe Dufour and Roger Smith. They were asked, what's the best watch to get under $10,000? And Dufour said, get a Nomos. And Roger Smith said, get a Rolex. So what we're going to do is, I thought, well, pretend that you're going to a new job, and you work as a market analyst for an advertising agency, and you have to have presentations and so forth, in addition to gathering the kind of data that you need for market analysis. And so the boss says, look, here's $10,000, and I heard that if you have one of these two watches, they're good ones where you can have either one you want, but I want you to get, here's the $10,000, you can get the watch, plus I want you to get any clothes, shoes, and so forth that you're going to need for the job. If you have any left over, bring it back. Okay, so here you have a situation that probably is like a lot of watch buyers. Sometimes watch collectors think, well, let me see how much any money left over is simply to buy another watch. So what we're going to do is let's sort of take a look at it and pretend this. You have to assume, look, I don't know anything about watches. Never heard of Rolex, never heard of Nomos, and you're just looking at watches and saying, look, this is my job that I have. This is the amount of resources that I have. What should I get? Okay, so let's get started. The first watches that I want to look at are the time only. Now, these are the most simple watches, and you simply look at them and tell the time. One of the things with all of the Rolexes that I could find, I think there's some vintage, but they're all of the men's watches are automatics. So that's one thing. There's no getting away from that. Whereas the Nomos had both automatics and non-automatics. So that's another thing. There's nothing I could do about. All right, so I simply picked some time-only watches from Nomos and the two from Rolex. Okay, so the lowest price Rolex was a Air King for $6,200. Now the prices that I got were the prices that they had on their website, on the Rolex website, and the Nomos website. In other words, these are pretty much the AD prices. All right, and the bottom for the Nomos was $2,920, and it's a wind-up watch, that little circle up in the between 12 and 1 o'clock is the power reserve indicator. So that's a mechanical windup. But you had it's a sort of a range of time-only watches, and they range from just under $3,000 to right about $4,000. So you have about $1,000 range, $3,000 to $4,000. Whereas the Rolex started at $6,000 and it ended up at $8,200. The Milgauss and the Air King, especially as far as I'm concerned, I like, and again, this is, like I said, I have nothing for or against either one of them, because I don't own either one of them, and I'm simply like taking the advice of Dufour and Smith. Now, of these, the ones I like the Milgauss. I like that light green Nomos because it has a power reserve indicator, and I like the dark blue one because I just think that looks cool. So here again, so if I decided to get one of these, which one would I get? And again, I'm thinking, well, I'll get this or maybe something else. So let's take a look at some more now. So those are the time only. That's sort of the very beginning. Now the next group is the ones with the date. And all of the Nomos have the dates at 6 o'clock, and the two Rolexes have the date at 3 o'clock. And both of the Rolexes are over $9,000 a piece. Again, these are a couple of Rolexes. I like them. By the way, too, there was something else. The Rolexes, just about all of them had a metal bracelet, and all of the Nomoses had either a leather or a fabric band on them. So that's another thing that, you can, if you like one or the other. Now, remember the kind of work you're going to be doing. Now, someone may say, well, boy, I tell you, I like that big green one. I think that's the Hulk. And either one of them are nice looking watches, but they're roughly almost twice as expensive as the three Nomos, with the exception of one on the far end that's $5,000. And they're not quite twice as expensive. All right, now these are watches with the date as well as the time. Now, one of the things about Rolex's dates on both of these models is that they have a little magnifier, and I really like that because your date's not going to do you a lot of good if you can't read it. And on both of these, they're easy to read, and both of them are they're nice looking watches. Same with the Nomos. The Nomos are I'll say, are quieter watches, and the Rolexes sort of are a little more sporty looking, whereas the Nomos look more like office watches. By the way, too, there was a series of watches by Nomos called the Office series, and a lot of these watches are from the Office series. They look, I just say that's because they look like the Office clock. All right, not saying anything bad about that. There's for time reading things. The colors, both of them have more colors than I thought. There were more colors, especially in Rolex. The colors that the Nomos have, I really like. They have a big variety of colors. Okay, so let's go on. Now, the next one, these are for multiple times. I didn't find a world timer. I think that for under $10,000 by Rolex. I think there's one of the yacht models has the world time, but not under 10,000. Okay, now these two watches, the one on the left is called the Nomos Zurich World Time. They have a cool German name that I'm not going to mispronounce for everyone. So, then the other hand, there is the Explorer with the GMT, $8,100. Happens to be an Explorer I really like. They call it, I think it's referred to as the Polar because of the white dial. But I also like that new Nomos that they have as a world timer with all around it. And the double crown that they have. Well, actually, they have a crown and a pusher on the Nomos. So here are two watches, two more. That if this is something, let's say that they say, well, we're going to have you doing a lot of traveling, so you're going to need dual time at least. You can either get a world time or you can get a dual time or GMT. Again, this is a choice that that both of them have some, I think, are good choices. The difference in price is $2,000. So, okay, going on, the next one I thought, well, I'll take a look at entry level, and the entry level is I didn't have the Oyster Perpetual for time only, but that's what it is a time only. And so $5,700. This is the entry level. This particular one, the Oyster Perpetual with the little blue dots at on the hour indexes at the end of it, I think that's very cool. All right. And then on the Nomos, the $2,600. This is almost $3,000 less. Very, very clear looking dial. It looks almost like it reminds me of a military watch. And then in red, right above the numbers, it has the not 24 hour, but the 60-minute times in the actual minutes. Like the big hand is on the 10, and then the little red number says 50 minutes. Okay, so that's the entry level. They both have, the very cool entry levels on both of them. And again, $10,000. If you're going to need the date, if you're going to need the dual time or something like this may not be a choice, but if those you'll get from your phone like everyone else, then a lot of other things don't exactly matter. Okay, so in looking at those set of recommendations, and assuming that you don't know anything about it, what would you do? I happen to like both Nomos and Rolex. I don't have one because I like other things that I ended up getting, and it's a lot of people say, well, you don't like Nomos because of this, or you don't like Rolex because of this, or you're a snob, or something else. Nah, it's got nothing to do with it. You just see something else you happen to like, and so what I'd like to hear from you as watch collectors and is what do you think would be the best choices? I didn't make any real choices on purpose because, like I said, I don't have a dog in this fight, and if I were given that choice to go and get a watch, I'm not sure which one I would get, to tell you the truth. It would probably come down to the new world time watch that Nomos has, and then the Explorer with the GMT that Rolex has. I like both of those. So, but maybe I'd get something else. I also like that first one with the I don't know why, power reserve indicator. By the way, too, like I said, all of the Rolexes are automatics, and they also have the steel bracelets instead of the some leather or gator bands to them. Okay, so this has been a relatively short one, but I thought it would be something we could discuss in the comment section. All right, so by the way, too, this is an invitation to subscribe if you'd like. Till next Friday, this is Bill Sanders with Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection.